All right, thanks everybody for calling in tonight and being in the room here. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7:01. If we could take a minute to review the meeting minutes from December 1st and get that first order of business out of the way, that'd be great. I guess while we're going through the minutes, I should just do a quick roll call first here. So in the room is myself, Brianna, and Michelle, and then on the phone we have Alicia Anthony, Michael Michello, Larry Gilmet, Linda Hayes, Carl Campagna, Joe Anise, Steve Kirby, John Miller, and Rachel Young. Is there any questions or comments on the minutes from December 1st?
No.
No. Hey, who joined in?
Hi, Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie, how you doing? We're live, so the meeting is on.
Okay.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from December 1st as written. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, seconded by Larry. If we could do a quick roll call, Alicia, that'd be great.
Joe?
Yes.
Stephanie? Yes. Carl?
Yes.
Linda? Yes. Dee Dee?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes. All right, everybody is all in favor, so moved. Great. All right, we can jump right into the next item on the agenda here is a quick update in the senior center. Steve, we have Michelle in the room here, so if you want to jump right into the photo log first, that'd be helpful, so if you can get a move on. If you want to wrap that in with the project update, that'd be great. That sound okay?
Okay, you want me to start with the photo doc?
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Okay. Is it up on the screen?
It is, yes.
Okay. All right, the first slide is a photo of the installation of the window trim on the first floor. They've gone around and set up with all the windows. We did actually get the delivery of doors today.
Nice.
So they'll be able to start hanging doors. The next slide is just a photo of the multi-purpose room with a lot of stuff in it, but you've got the tray ceilings, and you can see the 4x4 tiles that are installed where they had to cut around either light fixtures or fire alarm devices. The rest of it is still open for a public building inspection. Next slide is a photo of the quarry tile being installed in the kitchen. Next slide is a sink countertop in one of the toilet rooms. Slide 6 is a view of the ceiling up on the second floor at the main stairwell, with the 4x4 tiles and the large light fixtures. And slide 7 is a photo of the ceiling tiles and grid in one of the rooms, again showing the items that had to be cut in. In the middle is the HVAC cassette that they entered within the tile. Slide 8 is a photograph of the wall sconce in the second floor corridor as it stands off from the wall. Slide 9 is just a view of the main stairs from the second floor. That's still the, the rough staircase installed. Slide 10 is a photo of the sports flooring that's stored inside the welcome room, acclimating to the interior. It is a latch locking system, and photo 11 shows essentially how it's locked together. There's essentially an Allen wrench that you use to twist that latch and engage the sheet next to it.
So what's that floor have, like a little spring to it, or a little give or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, it has pads underneath the wood veneer itself that raises it. Rachel, what is it? Inch and a half?
I think that's about it.
Yeah.
That'll be flush though. I remember
Yeah.
that room you sunk down a little bit, right?
Correct. That's the room in the corner. Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
Slide 12 is a view of the domestic and fire water service room. A lot of the piping has gone on in the last couple of weeks. Slide 13, another view of the pumps and the water systems. Slide 14 is a view of stair 2 at the first floor. All the railings are now up. That's right adjacent to the cafe. As a second means of egress to the second floor. Slide 15 showing the fire department connection at the west elevation, just outside of the door of the kitchen, and the thin brick and precast. Slide 16 is showing the stone wall and the fence, privacy fence, acoustical privacy fence around the generator. The grade does come up.
Yeah.
Good. Slide 17 is showing the installation of the thin brick in the tray system on the north elevation, outside the multipurpose room. Slide 10 is showing the traffic island that needs to be rebuilt because it didn't conform to the drawings. There's two islands, the one closest to the first parish. Had to rebuild the right-hand side. Slide 19, just another photo of the same island from the second floor.
So we had to end up redoing that one. Okay.
Yes, they had not maintained the proper configuration on the right-hand side of that island.
Okay.
They had flushed it off where it was at an angle. So they dismantled part of it and rebuilt it.
Okay.
Slide 20 is the concrete apron around the existing flagpole that's set within the asphalt sidewalk that runs from the first parish to the B-Wing.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks great.
Behind it, you can see the old ditching posts. A little hard to see, but at an angle. Slide 21 is the fencing around the trash pad area. We are looking at closing that off in the future, probably.
Okay. Is there a request to do that, or is there?
There is, and we did get some pricing back, so that's why we may be doing it in the future.
Okay.
Steve, this is JD. How many, I'm assuming sort of a trash dump boxes going to be in there? How many can fit?
It's actually, they're going with the barrels.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It was designed to take a dumpster, but since that time, just because of the operation, they decided to go with barrels.
Okay.
Slide 22 is showing top coat of paving being installed, which was last Friday. Again, 23 is also a photo of the top coat in the parking area facing First Parish.
How'd they make out? Did they get it all done, the site done?
Yeah, they did the top coat, the parking and drive on a Friday, and they came in and did the top coat on the sidewalks on Monday.
Okay. Like we noted, you know, the cold weather actually helps a little bit here with, you know, hardening things up.
A little bit, because it stiffens it up from people driving on it and
Yeah.
stuffing it up.
That's good.
Again, slide 24, another shot of paving in the direction of the B-wing. Slide 25, this is a recreation center showing the main entry and the elevator shaft and brick installation. Slide 26, a little bit closer view of the elevator shaft. Slide 27 is recreation center lobby showing the elevator entry door, and the room to the right is the elevator machine room. Slide 28 is the second floor lobby at the recreation center. Slide 29 is just showing the second floor toilet room with Duroc ready for ceramic tile. That's all for the photo documentation. Any questions?
That areas get heat and everything, right? The gym's fine with heat and all that stuff.
Yes.
Yep. How you been? Has there been any rough inspections? Is that anything been completed on that front?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Carl. Steve, I've got a quick question. On that thin set brick, will they still be able to do the watering even though the temperatures are dropping?
Yes, we reminded them that they have to heat. It can't be below, I believe, 37 degrees, based on what I read through in the thin brick section. So they have, in one area that they're working in the porch, they do have it enclosed in poly. And I've got the clerk is there monitoring it. We have reminded them that they can't let it drop below. And you know, today was a cold day.
Okay, so that'd be both the air temperature and substrate have to be up to a certain temperature. What did you say, about 37?
Yes, the material itself, the ambient air temperature, and the substrate. That's correct.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
And Steve Shea, this is Kevin Kelly.
Hey, Kevin.
Just,
Thanks for calling.
I feel obligated to note that, the heat in that space and the whole recreation area is the original heat from the building. We have nothing was addressed real other than adding to heat for the bathrooms and ventilation
Okay.
and exhaust. But the heat is the original heat, and it is. Let me underscore the word original. So it does have. It's working right now, but
Okay.
it's all original equipment.
Okay. Thanks for the input. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And then Steve Kirby. Has there been any rough inspections, or how are we looking on that end?
Rough inspections in the recreation center, yes.
Okay.
They had all their roughs before they started putting up sheetrock and Duroc.
Okay. All right.
You want me to continue on with the construction progress?
Yeah, that's great. Yep.
Okay, at the senior center, siding installation is continuing. We are still monitoring for water infiltration in the building. Again, the thin brick and the precast installation is ongoing and keeping tabs on temperature. First and second floor painting is ongoing. Finished carpentry on the first and second floor is ongoing. The waterproofer is there, sealing windows with caulking. The interior doors were delivered today. Acoustical ceiling tile and grid up on the second floor and part of the first floor. The quarry tile is continuing in the kitchen. The elevator installation is complete except for testing and inspection. The MEPFBs are ongoing with their finishes, light fixtures, sprinkler heads, HVAC cassettes, etc. Sidewalk and flagpole, concrete floors are complete. Like I said, the top coat of the paving in the parking lot and drives was done on Friday, and the sidewalks was completed on Monday. The main entry traffic control island was adjusted. We've reestablished the pedestrian path from First Parish sidewalk behind the new stone wall, but between the construction fence. They moved the construction fence back to allow for an aisle.
That's good. Thank you.
Fencing was installed at the between the site and the ball field. That was a 4-foot chain link, and then the trash bag generator. We did have a flood in the B wing from that heavy rainstorm. We're suspecting it was caused because there was a silt sack in the catch basin adjacent to it that probably could not take that volume of water. But we are looking at a couple spots where we believe the infiltration came in under the door that used to be the C-wing connection.
Okay.
And, an unfortunate bit of news is the transformer is still not set by National Grid. We got word today that it's on the schedule for January 4th. Schedule-wise, that's not good. Doesn't allow them enough time to pull their secondary wires in. We've already asked if we could do it in advance of the setting of the transformer, and National Grid said no. Then we have to get National Grid to pull in the primaries and get all the inspections, and then start energizing equipment. So there is a schedule problem now.
Yeah. Yeah, if that thing gets set on the 4th, I mean, you got another at least a week of work, right?
More than that, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because a lot of it's contingent about getting other crews out there to do inspections before they do work. And then we have to, once there's power, then we, for instance, the HVAC equipment has to do their startup.
Yes, yeah.
And then have to do their commission.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. I mean, I made a couple calls. I didn't get much result, but I mean, January 4th with the holiday here, it kind of probably seems right. Unfortunately, I don't know. I don't.
I think what's going to happen too, if we get, we're supposed to get a storm on Thursday.
Yeah, if you get some
Any kind of storm, it's going to put those guys off because they're going to be dealing with storm outages.
I mean, it kind of is what it is.
Yeah. But that affects, the temporary heat in the building in order to do finishes.
Yes.
Everything's on a generator.
They're just running that generator during the day, right?
No, it's going to be 24/7 now because of the
Okay, so they are running it 24/7, yeah.
We put that notice out this order, but they moved the generator to the east side of the building so that it would be away from the abutters.
Okay, good. All right, so you're keeping the building warm at least. That's positive. Is there anyone checking on the building after hours or?
Not that I'm aware of.
Are any of the water systems livened up?
Everything would be into the water room only.
Okay.
I'm not sure, the sprinkler guys may have done a water test, but I would think that they would have drained it.
I would hope so. Yeah.
That'll be a good question for tomorrow.
Yeah, I would ask them, just make sure it's prepared for some cold weather if need be. All right.
Yep.
Just back to the gym and the water. Any luck finding that roof leak or the glass block leak or whatever you had going there?
Rec center?
The rec center, right?
No, not yet. Of course, every time we have a storm, it's that night or on a weekend.
Yeah.
So we can't catch it while it's actually happening.
Okay.
Maybe Thursday or Friday, depending on how that storm. It's supposed to be mostly snow though.
Yeah. And then the senior center, the water, the water infiltration, that the extra caulking and kind of taping work and everything, that's working okay?
Well, they did do some remedial work, but we were still seeing some areas not as heavy, but not recently, not over the. We had some weather yesterday for a while.
Yeah.
And the report was they didn't really see anything coming in, so it's still being monitored. The holes in the bottoms of the walls are still there.
Yeah.
To check.
Okay. Well, that's positive. At least you didn't see anything with the weather. That was pretty heavy weather. But you're keeping an eye on it anyways, right?
Correct. We still want to get PTAs to come in at some point also to do some testing. As far as the rec center goes,
Can we put, if you're not speaking,
Yeah, we've got
somebody's phones. Can we put our phones on mute if we're not speaking? Thank you. All right, go ahead, Steve.
in the rec center, the elevator installation in the rec center is ongoing. They're nearing completion there. The MEPs are doing their work. Drywall has been installed. Like I showed you, the thin brick installation on the elevator shaft, and we are still chasing the leak in the gym.
Okay. Are the elevators anywhere close to being done? I mean, I just know from stuff I've been doing at work, it's taken a little bit to get state inspections.
It always does.
I know.
And, my understanding, senior center is ready to go, except for some of their own testing and then an inspection.
Okay. Yeah, just a piece of noteworthy. I mean, the elevator testing from the state takes a little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with the elevator, the guys aren't there, you can't open it because they've got it locked out.
Exactly right. Right. All right. Anybody else on the board have any questions?
Sorry to butt in, this is Kevin. Since we're talking to water, I just feel obligated to disclose that we did take water again in the basement of Old Gates. With a lot of dirt involved and so forth. The only concerning area is we haven't fully identified how it got there, but we're working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, Kevin, I mentioned that.
He did, yeah.
Basically, I think it's coming in those gaps that are under that door to the CE wing connector. In the wall itself.
Okay.
Yes, probably.
So as far as any COVID-related issues, we really haven't had any problems with manpower. Everybody that was concerned about things that tested negative. Material delay-wise, we did, like I said, we did get the door delivery.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm not sure if it's all there, but they were unloading doors today. And we are still waiting for bathroom tiles.
Okay. All right.
So if you want me to go into the next item, is project schedule.
Does anybody have anything in the project update or the photo log?
No.
All right.
Good progress.
Yeah, it does look like great progress. Let's I guess maybe brace ourselves for the schedule here. What do you got in the schedule?
The issue with the schedule is basically what I just said. I mean, they're continuing on as quickly as they can go. But the biggest thing right now that I see, and I think Rachel will probably agree, is that we don't have permanent power to the building.
Yeah.
And that's going to impact, again, it's impacting temporary heat, but they're maintaining that with alternate means. But it's going to impact startup of any HVAC equipment, electrical equipment. Can't test the generator.
Yeah.
Can't put a load on it. I mean, there's just a lot of things that require not only manpower from the trade, but manufacturers, technicians to come to the site.
No, I just want to know the minutes. I mean, this was nothing due to anybody. You guys have been called in ample time. You did the applications in time. I mean, it seems like everything was done on the up and up. It just, I don't know if the utility dropped the ball or it just seemed like they weren't non-responsive, right?
Yeah, well, there may be an issue with a letter that they have sent out that it came back around again to us in November for the service agreement, which the town administrator signed and had that turned around in 2 days.
Okay.
And then there was a little bit of a mess with someone from N-Grid going on vacation, and absolutely nothing happened until that person really came back, and it was at least 2 weeks, even though there was someone else that we were supposed to be able to get in touch with. So it's sort of been a bunch of different things with them.
All right.
Gas, we should be okay with Columbia/Eversource as far as getting the gas meter.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's I'm knock on wood, that's one utility that seems to be responding.
Okay. So schedule impact, no real line of sight to that as of yet. Just it's going to be a delay, right?
Right. I think everybody's going to go as quickly as they can. I know, Griffin's ready to pull their secondary wires in, and like I said, we asked them specifically if we could do those now, just to get a leg up, and they flat out said no. And National Grid. So
It's weird. It's their call, right? All right.
yeah, I mean it's actually easier to pull the wire in without without the transformer.
Yeah. All right. Any questions on scope? I mean, not on scope, on schedule?
No.
Okay. Well, just keep us up to date, Steve, and let us know you're making out. All right. AV scope. Next up.
AV scope. Like I mentioned at the previous meeting, there was a dispute on ownership of the audiovisual scope. We have decided to, regardless of how things end up, we are proceeding forward with putting a package out to bid to audiovisual vendors. I know Rachel was meeting with Linda, I think today or yesterday, to go over a couple of particular items, but we want to get those numbers back, it is a state bid list type of item, so that we can get the work going, so we're not just waiting. So that was, I talked with Rachel and Joel on this, and that was our decision to keep things moving forward.
Yeah.
You go to work in Charlotte. Can I see those specs before they go up?
Sure. Yep. Yeah. Everything is on. There's no spec section. All the specs, all the materials and so forth is included directly on the drawing. So it'll be a drawing set that I send you.
Okay, thank you.
Michael, you looking for specs on like TV? Like, what are you looking for specs on?
The equipment, the projectors, the video mixers, anything or everything.
Okay.
At the end of the day, we have to support it, so.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be a bunch of drawings, AV set of drawings.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, just copy me on that too, Steve. Thank you. All right, so under the AV scope is moving. There's no real impact to budget. It's just kind of ongoing.
Well, I hope there's no impact to budget.
Yeah. All right.
We have a budget line item. You know, we gotta get the numbers back from, you know, I would hope at least 3 vendors.
Okay. It's sorry, I don't know if you missed it. When is the bid package going out?
I think tomorrow. Rachel,
Not tomorrow, but the hope is to get it together, a bid package by the end of the week, on Monday. I think the one, step back we're heading into, which I think is we can overcome. But yeah, our AV consultant has a little backlog in their drafting department, so picking up some of the edits that we wanted them to make based on my conversations with Linda today, they were a little hesitant. That being said, there's a way we can still bid the package and perhaps make the edits in writing rather than having them represented graphically, and that would be faster. So I'm going to look at that as an option tomorrow. Still hoping to step out by the end of the week or next Monday.
All right.
Okay.
It'd probably be good to have.
Write it if it's on a PDF?
Yes, exactly. We could do that. We can also issue an addendum saying that these are the changes and you happen to get the drawings faster from their drafters. So I was going to talk with you about this tomorrow. But yeah, the expectation is to get your stuff out as soon as possible because the AV drawings are relatively unchanged.
All right. It'd probably be good to get Michael's eyes on it before it goes out.
I'll send those over to you now.
Okay.
I'm going to send you an email with the AV drawings.
Thank you.
All right. Any more questions and comments on the AV scope?
No, I have none.
No.
Okay. All right, next item up is Rachel. So Rachel just basically wanted us to update us. She finalized the kind of drawings and what else, Rachel? I mean, you going to the planning board next week, right?
That's the hope. So
Yeah.
we're still
January.
Oh, January. Okay.
Yeah. I need to send the drawings to the planning board next week.
Got it. Yeah.
But the intent, the replacement of the signage hasn't changed from the last time we came before you. We just had supplementary information to discuss, just to be transparent about what we're doing. I think the reality of this building, and I probably said this before, is there's no perfect place to put signage on the building. And ideally, there'd be supplemental signage at some point, either wayfinding or sandwich boards or some type of monumental signing if the planning board were to sign off on that. That being said, we own signage on the building, and so we'd like to proceed with that. we'd like to proceed with the placement we proposed last time, which is on the north elevation at the tenement of the brick massing, and in addition, a smaller sign by the entrance to the senior center itself. And I was able to put a rendering together that shows you what the signage would look like when you're approaching from the west. Just to give you an idea that as you're getting close to the entrance, you're not going to get a full view of the signage on the pediment. That the white massing of the building obscures that signage.
Right.
So I just wanted to be clear and upfront that that's the reality of that location. And then in addition, that rendering also showed the stack for the generator in place. They're not going to be installed until they do the startup for the generators. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see the actual condition, but I think that the rendering I put together is a pretty fair approximation of what they'll look like. And then the only other information I sent along was we happened to have the shop drawings from the signage company, so I thought that was helpful information to share.
Yeah, I sent the information out this week. I mean, I didn't see any change. I mean, I think it looks consistent with what we voted on. I'm still happy with it. I don't know if anybody else has anything to add in. No?
Rachel, this is JD. The numeral 333 is still top right-hand corner, north side.
That's correct, yep.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I guess that package looked fine, Rachel. I mean, it's consistent with what we voted on, and that looks sufficient to bring to the planning board. Hopefully they think the same.
Yes, I hope they do as well. I believe Kevin had spoken with Karen a few weeks ago, maybe, so I think she's at least aware of what we're proposing.
Okay. All right, cool. Moving right along, we got an FFE update with Linda. How's that looking, Linda?
Okay, well, FF&E was finalized and approved and submitted by ORI last week. As originally contracted, with only some material finishes, fabrics, colors that still needed to be selected. So that was all that went into updating within the parameters that were set by the contract that was signed. So there were no quantity or style changes beyond that after all. Despite the discussion and the selections we had additionally made, we went back to the original. So as far as we know, it's on schedule.
Okay. Yeah, no,
Delivery for February.
that's good to hear. I think, the exercise we went through with the 4 bids and kind of put our best foot forward. I think that was prudent just to settle on what we had bid on and get it out the door. That was good. And I think getting it out in that time frame, hopefully we'll keep the delivery dates on schedule and so forth.
So they reported, yep. So, I mean, ORI was certainly very responsive and did everything we needed them to do.
That's good. Good to hear.
Once that was decided, yep. So, in addition, I'm not sure if that's sufficient.
Yeah.
We also wanted to, I sent out the quote that I had received from, for the Matrix radio equipment.
Right.
See if we could approve that for 4 pieces. So I had originally been approached by this vendor. He had just furnished the Falmouth Senior Center with his equipment. So I was then able to see the equipment. We went to Falmouth in June, not just to see the equipment, but were able to see it at that point. I liked it. Falmouth Senior Center is very happy with the product and the service they received from the vendor. It's sort of a target market for them, certainly. Right now, at least, that's what they say. It's not only in Falmouth, it's in Westport. It's definitely Hanover-wide. There's a senior living center in the area and an apartment development in Weymouth as well that has the equipment. I mean, it's substantial, safe, well-built, ergonomic. The rep was very willing to provide a variety of configuration variations, so we went a little back and forth. Once I had the number, when I was told that I could leave it out of the FF&E bid
Right.
if I kept it under 10,000. And so because particularly of this opportunity, I guess, to work with the MCPA contract pricing, which he led me to believe Scituate was a part of initially, but then Nancy found that we were not, but then was able to apply for it. So we were able to get the magic pricing.
Oh, good.
So, originally I thought maybe not a treadmill, and I was looking at maybe just starting with 3 machines. But I did get some feedback. The treadmill does seem to be something that would be popular. He was able to, get the pricing down under the 10,000 just. So I felt like that was the money I had to work with, and so was able to work with it. We did even upgraded the, from LED to a Premier that's a little bit, not a touch screen, that was more expensive, and not something that we needed. I thought really just basic equipment is all we want in there.
Yeah.
But it is our one nod to the wellness and the fitness trend that I know a lot of the seniors will be looking for. Originally, when the design for the building had included the recreation center and that it was proposed that they had a larger fitness facility, we didn't want to be redundant, and we still wanted a few machines at the senior center for people to use. But in this case, it's really all they get, and I think it would be worthwhile having. And the room will accommodate the 4 machines. We have a layout that we're following. We're able to upgrade the room to include a 20 amp outlet,
Yeah.
which Rachel and Steve were able to maneuver so that we could get that in that room.
So, I mean, I did look it over. I mean, these seem like the standard pieces of equipment. I know from building out a couple gyms, smaller gyms. I mean, you got a treadmill,
Right.
an elliptical, a hybrid bicycle, and a rower.
Yep.
All are,
Yeah.
pretty universal, standard kind of small gym equipment. So
They
these,
are. I mean, they're the lighter, lower end
Yeah.
for a fitness facility, but at the same time substantial. And granted, not cheap. I will say I did not price shop. It just because of the referrals we were getting, I just felt they were in our parameters.
so I looked at the price a little bit too. I mean, they're definitely, they're cheaper than your Pelotons and your
Yeah.
Bowflexes and your Nordic tracks for sure. I felt
I
the
wondered
prices-
about that too. That might have been something that would be appealing, but then
Yeah.
it felt like it would have been for a slightly younger set, and I just, I wanted to make sure that we were appealing to the right demographic.
No, I mean, I know that the Peloton treadmills are in, the $5,000 range, and, same with the bikes and everything. So, I mean, I think the pricing definitely looks attractive, and it's the right equipment. Now, these screens on here, are you going to get is there like a monthly membership, or is there classes they can do on the screens?
No, it isn't that fancy, actually. So
Okay.
it's that. You can plug in, or it does have a digital capability.
Yeah.
You can plug your own phones in.
Okay.
So it's fairly low key there.
That's good. Sometimes that stuff gets complicated with membership fees
I
and
can-
all that.
We might have liked it for the rowing machine, because that's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But, we can upgrade later.
Linda, this is Larry. Is that a delivered and installed price?
It is actually, yes, Larry, we'll
Okay,
take
good.
it outside.
I was at my gym today, and they had a piece of equipment brought in, and the installer told them that it took him an hour and a half to take it out of the package.
Oh, wow.
And put it together.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That was before they started putting it together, right?
You want to make sure it's delivered and installed, that's all.
Definitely, I mean, they do look heavy, you're right. It is, yeah, we're doing a site visit tomorrow just to, be assured that everything works there. And they'll hold it until we're ready, so we can order it now, maintain pricing, and then they'll hold it in their warehouse until we're ready for the delivery.
And Steve Kirby, do you remember what we set aside for the gym equipment? I think it was more than this anyways, but
I think it was,
it was,
We had a single line item for FF&E.
I remember.
And then we sort of broke it down
We did.
to some numbers just recently, and
Yeah.
I don't have that off the top of my head, but
I want to say it was
If I remember right, it might have been 15 or 20.
I think it was
in that
15 or
breakdown.
20, yeah. So
somewhere
this,
down, yeah.
so this is definitely a benefit on that end of it too. Yeah, I mean, it looks decent to me. It's under the 10,000 and you've got some good references on it. And it definitely, I know from personal experience, it checks out kind of price-wise. I don't know if anyone else has anything to say about it.
No, I just think that the 4 pieces are the right pieces.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think so, Larry? Do you think?
Yeah, I do, being in that demographic and going to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, I use all of these pieces.
That's good. I mean,
Not all
yeah,
on the
they
same
look-
day.
Well, I did think because there really isn't any weight, strength training opportunity, the elliptical is kind of nice for that. They like, some of the guys I spoke to like the rower.
Yep.
So, I like the pieces too.
Good. I mean, yeah, I think I'm ready to vote on this. I mean, I think you've done your homework and things check out. And obviously Nancy's had a look over it and done her magic with it and got a little more savings. So that's a positive. Is everybody else okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that, yes.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to approve an order for Matrix gym equipment, including a treadmill, an elliptical, a hybrid bicycle, and a rower in the amount of $9,996.00, which is inclusive of shipping and installation. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, seconded by Carl Campagna. And if you could do a quick roll call, Alicia, that'd be great.
Michelle?
Yes.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
JD?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Pete?
Yes. All right, all are in favor, so the motion passes. So good. That was good. A good exit. Linda. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Linda.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
All right, so the FF&E looks to be in good shape. Things are coming together. I think this is the last item you had there was just some of the kitchen stuff, and that's
The kitchen stuff,
Yeah.
yes, I'm onward and upward. I haven't done that yet, but that's next year.
great. All right, good. That's awesome. All right, on to the next item on the agenda here is Michael Michello. I'd like to review some of the IT scope and some purchase orders that we have coming up for some IT equipment. So I'll hand it over to you, Michael, and I can let us know where you're going.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Mike.
So basically, all things technology has been presented. We have 8 different quotes that I'm hoping to get approved tonight. The first one is for the fiber optic cable installation. This will connect the building to our town network. Right now, it's across town. Actually, as of this year, we connected all our town buildings to the comm hut behind town hall, and then from there it connects off to the data center, which is public safety building, and it's all done through fiber optic cable. And this here basically just brings this building online. If you guys, if you want, I can share on my desktop and I can pull these quotes up. I don't know if everybody, I'm assuming everybody has it by email.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So that material is the vendor's contract. The amount is $5,662.22. Any questions before I go on to the next one, or how do you want to do this, Steve?
Yeah, Michael, so that fiber to connect to the town hub, is the benefit there that it'll be hooked up to the, the larger network and some maybe cost savings, or, it'll be all in one package, I guess, with the town hub, I guess?
So once the cable is installed, it doesn't cost us anything. It's a physical wire that gets connected from the street, essentially,
Right.
into the building. And on the street, there's a ring that goes around town. The school put it in maybe 6-7 years ago. And as part of the town's project this year is we joined every single building to the ring. And the ring is diverse, so when the data traffic comes out of the building, it goes in both directions, left and right, around town and meets again at that palm hut. And if a tree came down or a pole came down and took out fiber optic cable on one half of the ring, it would survive by the other side of the ring. So there's diversity for the fiber cable.
Okay.
But yeah, we light the cable, we manage the cable, we own the cable, there are no costs, no direct cost afterwards unless a tree takes something down.
Okay. Makes sense.
Mike, this is J.D. Miller. Is it just bringing a line out of the building right down First Parish?
A little simpler than that, actually. So the wire that goes right on First Parish, so actually, you can probably reach up and touch it almost. As part of the project, they put in a conduit from the pole. We're going to come down the conduit and comes right up into the closet, the data closet on the second floor of the building. And from there, they polish the ends, and we connect it into our new switch and make the building.
So it's really just from the building to the street,
That's it.
and now you're in the ring, right?
Yeah, because the ring, just coincidentally, the ring runs right down First Parish.
Yeah. Okay.
Just for clarity, Michael, do you know off the top of your head that fiber run, are they running like I don't know how many pair they're running. They running at least a couple redundant pair for down the road in case we need to make some swaps with the fiber?
Oh, of course. So the ring itself is, I think it's a 48 pair ring.
Yeah.
And then off of it, we pull in, I think they're going to pull in 12 strands, or either 12 strands or 12 pair. We actually are only using a single strand. Conventional fiber optics years ago, we would have used 2 strands of fiber.
Yeah.
We don't have that luxury of having that much capacity in the fiber ring, because the schools put it in for themselves. Years ago, we kind of said, hey, do you have any extra that you're not using? We have just enough to bring all our buildings online using a single strand, so we had to change the technology that we use a little bit. But long story short, we can't grow every building by 2, but we have a couple extras in the ring, so should we ever need it, we have it.
Okay. And is it single mode compatible or multi-mode compatible? I mean, I guess you gotta go one or the other, right?
Yeah, the ring is single mode.
Okay. All right. I'm good in that one. Looks about right. That wire is expensive for sure.
Yeah. All right. Go more to move on, or?
Yep.
All right. So then we have 10 desktops and 2 notebooks, including monitors and documentations for the 2 notebooks. $12,940.
So I just had a question on this one. Do you usually carry this type of stuff on a capital project, or does this come out of an operations budget? And this stuff, I know it depreciates pretty quickly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I learned something new tonight when I was talking to Nancy the whole time. Normally, from my understanding, most buildings, new buildings, get new equipment.
Okay.
And most of the time, actually, Nancy tells me all of the time, the contract, part of the contract, and the contractor includes it. Here in this case, we pulled it out and we're doing it ourselves. And that should provide us with significant savings, of course.
Yeah.
And newer technology, because when they're bidding it, a year ago.
Sure, yeah.
So ordinarily, it's included with the contract. We've separated it, and we're going to attempt to do it ourselves.
No, that's a good point. I think that was some lesson learned too from the public safety complex and the library project. So no, good looking out.
And the other piece of this is to kind of go along with your question is the equipment that they have right now at Council on Aging is they're ready to be retired. I mean, they're 5 years some in 6 years. So they would need to be replaced one way or another. And we don't want to take old equipment into a new building and then have to go back and say, hey guys, we really have a new building, but now we need to put all the equipment in.
Okay. No, I'm sure that stuff's pretty long in the tooth. And it's been there for a while, so.
Yes. Next up is networking equipment. We have two network switches going in. They're going to connect to the fiber that I had mentioned previously. So the fiber optic cable actually plugs in for this networking equipment. The networking equipment, of course, has enough ports to manage the desktops, the notebooks, all the wireless access points, the building control, HVAC lighting, anything, security cameras, card access, so on and so forth. Anything with a network cable, it will plug into these switches and then join our network. Also, this quote also includes the wireless access points themselves. This particular building, we didn't go crazy with the number of network cables, the physical cables. Ordinarily, years ago, you'd have multiple network drops in an office, you'd have them everywhere. But the trend is going away from the wired connection, more wireless. So this building has, I think it's the number, it's 12 or 13 wireless access points throughout the building. And that is also a high number because when you have a large concentration of people and multiple rooms, you need to have that concentration. So that's part of this proposal as well.
Do you know what do you have some expandability in the port count? Is that safe to say in case down the road you needed more ports or whatever?
We do. So we do have expandability on these network switches. So we have 2 of them.
Okay.
So yeah, I think if we went with one, I think we would be maxed out, like absolutely day one, like no availability.
Right.
And I say that kind of because they're actually counting up everything. But it would be tight if not. We might, out of the box, we need to. So there's 2 in the quote.
And they're all PoE enabled and everything. They're all.
Yeah, they're all PoE layer 3 switches. Yeah.
All right. Sounds like the right stuff. Good.
All right. And again, this is consistent with when we did the fiber project around town this summer. This is the same equipment that we put in all our buildings.
Oh, good. Okay. So it's standardized.
So again, exactly. All right, moving on. The new phone system, new phone system, software licenses for the phones, $9,818.86. There aren't many buildings in town that have an IP-based phone system. Most of our buildings have the old school Verizon line, dial-up, analog phone.
Yeah.
No building with forward, no voicemail, anything like that. Fortunately, Council on Aging actually does have one. It has an IP phone system. Unfortunately, the hardware that they have, they've already announced end of life. So within 2 or 3 years, they're going to end of life it. To be less disruptive during the move, what the plan is to put the new phone system in place, put as many of the new phones out. There's a plan to move over some of the existing phones into the new building, but put out as many phones as we can, and that will help with the transition from the old building to the new building, or less disruption for the staff. With IT, who's going to be doing a bunch of other things, trying to get everything up and running at the same time.
Yeah.
That was the approach I took on that one.
So the phones that there's going to be physical handsets in the rooms, desks. There's going to be physical handsets around the site.
Yes.
Okay.
We have a couple of wall mounts, I believe. We have ones in conference rooms where people go on people's desks.
Okay.
Reception.
Has the town ever looked at exploring like a Skype solution and just using the computers, or is that something that's not on the table right now?
So I personally wouldn't be supporting like a computer-based one.
Yeah.
We do have cloud-hosted ones.
Right.
Phone systems, but the downside on that is it relies on internet connections, and I mean, as you know, living in the town, Comcast is horrible.
Yes.
I wouldn't rely on it for business. Not something that right now, I just don't think the internet infrastructure is there. It's not in Scituate.
Okay. End of the day, you're setting up the phone system consistent with the other buildings in town. Got it.
Correct. And then, yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the software license says, whether it's going to have voicemail, whether it's going to have, so there are, some of the licensing has software for the computer, so they'll be able to manage the phone, be able to forward calls, things like that from the computer.
Okay.
Next up, miscellaneous cables and pieces and parts, surge strips, $877.32, exactly like it sounds like. Cables, power distribution units, surge strips, pieces and parts.
Yeah.
At some point later on in the project, when all the equipment comes in and we start rack mounting and setting up, I'll need more cables. The exact measurements and stuff like that I don't know currently, and that's why I'll be back later on for some, but those aren't going to be, those are going to be measured at a few $100.
Yeah. So the PDUs, I mean, I guess it's not going to be a dual fed system or anything. It's just running on street power.
Like, you mean like an A and B circuit?
Yeah, I didn't see any UPSs on here. There's nothing. There's no.
Yeah, so the UPS is actually that's part of the AV, or I think it's the AV project. Yeah.
Okay.
The UPS is part of the AV project. So my plan right now is to go in, see what capacity is left on it after the contractor's done. And if there's reasonable capacity, we'll stay with it. If not, we'll have to purchase a new one.
All right, so you could be looking at another $4,000 on this.
Yeah, they're not too bad. I would say a couple of thousand.
Okay. All right.
All right. So then we have a firewall and a rack mount kit for it. So as I had mentioned earlier, the fiber comes out of the building, goes rushing around the town, right around the town. We have some kind of event. Let's say a tree comes down on the ring or on the right, traffic will flow over to the left. If something happens to the left as well, we're dead in the water.
Yeah.
So what we can do is we'll take this internet, we'll take our internet connection, will be Comcast, and run it through the firewall, create a VPN back to public safety, which is where the data center is, and that would be our another means of backup. But it also means that having a firewall and an internet connection at Council on Aging, we can do some other things with it. On a day-to-day basis, if you came into the building and you wanted to join the guest wireless or the staff wireless, that traffic would route directly over the internet connection out of that building. If you joined our network and you were connected to our network and you wanted to use the internet connection, that internet connection is actually aggregated back to public safety and exits public safety. So the internet connection that is going to be at Council on Aging, that will be behind this firewall that I'm proposing or asking for, is the dual purpose of wireless internet for guests, as well as a backup connection to public safety should the fiber fail.
Again, that's pretty standard setup. I mean, I think you would need the firewall, right? I think that's pretty standard.
If we're going to connect to the internet, we definitely need a firewall.
Yeah. Okay.
And again, the same story goes with the phones with the Fortin's firewall here. Council on Aging actually currently has one. To put in perspective, it's old. To put in perspective, they have a 40D. Since then, they've come out with a 40E, and now they have 40F. It's end of life, so I'm not interested in moving that thing at all.
No, I think it was established pretty early
We
on.
don't have all the equipment for firewall.
Yeah, I think it was established pretty early on that there was basically nothing salvageable out of the old center there, so.
Yeah.
Standard.
Okay. So that's $1,115.83. And that comes with an intrusion detection and prevention is built into the firewall for any of the traffic that flows over the firewall. All right, then we're up with print copy scanners. There are two of them proposed. They're what I call tabletop printers. That was Shannon 3710. That was left in Linda, is it your outreach office?
So that's it.
Oh, outreach, yeah, that's on the first floor, outreach.
Yeah, and then in the veterans office, so those
And
are
the top,
the three, yeah. So that's $1,130. And then finally, a much larger unit, the Savine C2500, which is a color printer, can print, copy, and scan, $6,764.23. One of the special features, special, not because it's unique, but because it was we'll call it a requirement, if you will, is that this particular printer can print 11 by 17, so you can't, it kind of is what includes, the price is a little bit high because we had to get a bigger format printer. But in any office, I think 11 by 17 is fairly common, so I wouldn't want this building to be allowed 11 by 17. The Council on Aging's current copier can do 11 by 17, and that current copier is, again, also on the older side.
No, I think it's good. That's pretty good to get that whole facilities down to 3 printers. I mean, they're all networked. You can print from anywhere, I assume.
Anywhere in the building you'll be able to print. Actually, anywhere in the network you can print, yeah.
Right. No, that's pretty good, I think.
And that's I'm asking for each of those quotes to be approved. My understanding, Nancy says that and you guys have to issue POs.
Yeah, we can vote on it. I just I know there was a little back and forth with, I don't know, Steve, if you can chime in on budget and kind of where your head was at with that.
Yeah, I just want to sort of clarify one thing that was, like I said in the beginning, that many of the items on this list are not normally part of the contractor's work. For instance, the computers, the phone system, and the print copy scanners. That is not under a construction contract. Fiber installation maybe. But it's not normally supplied by the general contractor. With that though, yeah, we do have a budget. We had a couple different line items. One being IT, and another being security. If we put those two budget numbers together, this request by Mike is under that. A total amount. We had $59,000 for IT and $35,000, I believe, for security. There is also a pending change order deleting some scope that was in the low voltage spec, but that's probably going to be 8,000 to 10,000 max. So. It's a little bit more, but it's a little bit of not excessive. I don't know how much more. I know, Mike said you have some other items that you have to you still have to go through, but I just want to, I don't have a problem with any of these, but
Okay.
I'm just keeping an eye on the total project budget.
So I mean, you brought up a good. Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, I have a question. The $35,000 that you mentioned for the security budget line item, I'm trying to not spend that. I want to hold on to that until we get into the building and see what security changes are needed. As you alluded to, there were significant change orders for the security project, and in order to minimize the impact of the change orders and how the pennies that we get for credit, I thought making changes to kind of just get the project done, and was anticipating that we would finish the security project at a much lower cost after the fact. So the $35,000 that we had earmarked for security, I would like to try to keep that full. Which brings me to the other budget line items that I had sent by email today, where I had seen some line items specifically for Wi-Fi access points for $14,000, telephone voice systems for $5,000, computers and monitors $5,000, printers $1,000, copiers $11,000. What of those line items? They're separate from the 59, that's a whole separate IT network, 59,000. Just as the security equipment and 35,000, that's another separate line item. What are all these other line items I just mentioned?
Well, I'm gonna have to defer to Rachel on that because I'm not sure what they were. I'm looking at the total project budget that was approved by the town, which has certain line items in it, and I really wasn't following where you got that from. So, Rachel, were you involved in that budget list from I think it was from August?
Yes, so I have the budget that we have provided for internal review from August 18th, when we were trying to set that, what the FMC budget would be when you take into consideration all the other peripherals in the project. So I have that, I see the line items that my book do. And some of the things I think we should revisit these maybe with Michael, perhaps not at this meeting, but separately, just to review, like for example, the security system, because there is already obviously some security items in the base contract. So just to understand what additions we would like to see. That's just one example. Does that make sense, Michael? That we could have a discussion. We can be tomorrow if we wanted to. I don't know what Steve's schedule is, but I'm pretty much available tomorrow and through the rest of the week.
Yeah, no, we can have it anytime. The only, these quotes that I'm asking for tonight are the ones that we care about, like right now, because they'll come in, I order them, this week, they'll be in time for January setup, February 1st setup. Everything else, I don't think we need before that. So, yeah, we can talk about this anytime.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what we should do.
Yep. So I'll follow up to, so we can set up a class to do that.
So just so the board's clarity and my clarity, so did we carry a double budget for this stuff? Is that what we're saying? Because it seems like there was some budget carried in FF&E and there was budget carried on another line item. Is that what we're saying?
Well,
That's a good question.
yes. I think that if that's in essence the case, that we have line items our town elsewhere.
Sorry, you're breaking up, Rachel.
Sorry, I was just saying that I think in essence what you're saying is correct, is that we have some line items that are accounted for elsewhere. And I think this is an excellent point in the project to do a reckoning, if you will, and again, speak with my offline to go through what these additional needs are above and beyond the contract.
All right, so the short of it is that we have the funding for the stuff that needs to be released tonight, and this seems, I'm kind of with Steve, and I do recall from other projects we did carry this, but myself, usually I don't see this stuff carried in like a construction contract, but I think we did carry this stuff.
We have soft cost line items for what I call owner supplies.
Yeah.
Systems.
Right.
So, which we did have numbers for. So, but at some point, we have. I'm looking at the total project budget and other items that are coming up that have to fit within that budget. We have a lot of them.
I know.
A lot of them we have to hold as placeholders. It's putting a little bit of a strain on our budget.
Yeah.
So we can review the other items tomorrow or Thursday. That's fine.
All right. How does anybody from the board have any questions or comments or any concern moving forward with the kind of IT stuff here tonight?
No, I just think that, back to some of the things that Steve said, I think we need to keep a sidebar notation on those components and pieces of equipment Steve doesn't feel normally fit within a project cost. So I'm okay with going forward with this, but to Steve's point about being cognizant of how tight we're getting, I think that those are things that we need to keep our eye on and remember what we're approving here.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this will be a positive. At least we'll have this number fixed, set in stone, you know what I mean? We can work this into the budget and see what, you know, if there is redundant line items or, you know, Rachel, obviously, you said you'd true that up this week?
Yep, I think conversation will happen ideally tomorrow.
Okay. All right, but unfortunately, you know, as Michael's noted here, the lead time on this stuff is coming up here. And
Trust me, I'm not saying you deny any of this. I just want to make sure everybody realizes that we this stuff we need, and
Yeah.
we can't go crazy.
no, for sure, I agree. I think, you know, we're getting to a point here where it's a couple $1,000s here, a couple thousand there, a couple thousand here. It's starting to kind of creep up, you know. But if some of this equipment's in FF&E, we had, you know, even this gym equipment, I'm almost positive we had 15 or 20 grand set aside for that, and that just came in at 10. So, I mean, I think the pieces are coming together, and hopefully they fit, which
In that same FF&E list that I was citing in my IT budget, like Wi-Fi access point for 14,000 and copiers for 11,000, there's a fitness equipment for 20,000 in that one, cardio equipment for cardio.
Okay, thank you.
And then you have wellness equipment for 5,000 on top of that.
Right,
Yeah. I have this budget open right now.
okay.
I know, 5 minutes out. So I
Alright.
just sent an email that set up it, so I can just go from there.
So let's vote on this, and then, you know, next meeting, let's get maybe a kind of a true up of where we're at with this FF&E line item and IT and security line items, and go from there. Does that sound like a good plan to everyone?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the numbers seem good. It's just a matter of what bucket it's coming out of.
Right. Okay.
and poor Steve is gonna have to make sure he has enough buckets.
I have one big bucket. That's the one I'm looking at now.
Yeah.
All right, well, it seems like we're all in agreement here with this one anyways, so. Michael, I'm just gonna wrap all these POs into one motion here. I think that's probably the easiest, and then give a total, and then I don't have any of the POs. I have the POs electronically in front of me. I don't know if I need to sign them for Nancy, but I can certainly stop by her office this week and sign them if I need to, so.
All right, and question on the actual PO. So when I was giving you a quote, and I had asked Nancy if she can make POs, and she told me that you guys have to make the actual purchase orders, right?
She would know. So is that, Rachel, is that something you would need to order? I'm not sure. I'm not.
We need to
I don't
approve
think it'd
the,
be like ordering anything else that a department would
Yeah.
order, and I don't know what that process is, but,
Normally when I enter POs in our financial system, I need an account number to bill it against.
right. Yeah, I'm sure there's an account number for this project. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Like, but,
We can work that out. Yeah, we can work that out with Nancy.
Further conversations after, outside of this meeting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, good. All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve 8 POs for furnishing the IT systems at the new senior center, inclusive of number 1, fiber installation, number 2, computers and equipment, number 3, network and equipment, number 4, phone systems and equipment, number 5, cabling and miscellaneous equipment, number 6, firewall equipment, number 7 is a quantity of 2 desktop multifunction printers, and number 8 is a singular standalone multifunction printer. The total is in an amount of $62,552.96. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, seconded by Stephanie Holland. If we could do a quick roll call, Alicia, that'd be great.
Larry?
Who?
Larry?
Larry?
Yeah.
Is that Larry?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, is it me that's breaking up? JD?
Yes.
Linda? Yes. Carl?
Yes.
Stephanie? Yes. Joe?
Yes.
And Steve?
Yes. All right, all are in favor, and the motion passes. So, and Michael, we'll square away the PO stuff when we can get her attention. So,
Sure, very good. Well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, thank you very much, Michael.
yeah, thank you, Michael, for going through that.
Thank you, guys.
That was very thorough. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
You too. All right, moving right along. We got, I think, a couple purchase orders from Steve, and I think that'll wrap it up for the senior center here.
Okay, the first item I have is application for payment number 11 from Delphi Construction. This is for work that was performed through November 30th. Was certified by the architect on today, the 15th. We actually received it today. It's for $951,244.80. That brings us to a little over 77% complete based on the schedule of values. This is for work associated with in the senior center, concrete, masonry, carpentry, rough and finish, siding, insulation, fire stopping, waterproofing, drywall, acoustical ceilings, resilient flooring, painting, building specialties, elevator, fire suppression, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, site work, fencing, and landscaping. For the recreation center, site work, masonry, mist metals, steel, framing, drywall, elevator, plumbing, and electrical, and then also general conditions and change orders. Again, that is for a total amount, $951,244.80.
All right, thanks for the review, Steve. So yeah, I mean, this invoice, it seems pretty consistent with the invoicing we've been seeing for the monthlies. It's right around, that same amount. It's been reviewed by the architects and Vertex and signed on with the cover letter. Yeah, it looks pretty standard. Any concerns or questions from the board on it?
No.
No.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to approve an application for payment number 11 from Delphi Construction Company for services rendered through November 30th for miscellaneous items as mentioned previously by Steve Kirby from Vertex. The application for payment is an amount of $951,244.80. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, seconded by Joe Anise, and if we could do a quick roll call.
Stephanie? Yes. Carl?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
JD?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes. All right, all are in favor, so the motion
Yes.
passes. Oh, Joe, sorry, yep, Joe, thanks.
All right.
All right, so all are in favor, so the motion passes, great. All right, and, you got one more, right, Steve?
I also have a Vertex invoice for the month of November. It's invoice number 138242, in the amount of $25,658.72. It should also include a very small invoice from Pittsburgh and Saatchi, the commissioning, HVAC commissioning agent.
Steve, can you just repeat the amount? What was it?
The amount was $25,658.72.
Okay, all right, that's what I got here. Again, yeah, pretty standard with the monthly billing from Vertex. You know, it's a little on the smaller side this month, which is fine. I don't have any questions or comments. Does anyone else on the board have any questions or comments?
No, I don't have any. No, I don't.
And this is the billing through November, right, Steve?
Through November 30th, correct.
Through November 30th. All right.
All
right.
28th, but
I'd like to make a motion to approve invoice number 138242 from Vertex for services rendered through November 30th. Invoices in the amount of $25,658.72. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Larry Gilmet. We can do a roll call.
Dee
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Anthony?
Yes.
Joe?
yes.
Steve?
Yes.
And Larry?
Yes.
All right, all are in favor, so the motion passes. Good. And no BH&A invoices, we didn't get any of those in, right?
We did not know.
Okay. All right. I think that wraps it up for the senior center, unless anybody else has any final words.
Wow, no, thank you all.
Steve, I actually have sort of a separate topic. Just take a second, just to give the PBC a heads up. It's my understanding that the funding for fire station number 4 down in Humrock was approved tonight, and I believe that they're going to be turning that project over to PBC as part of your duties to follow it through to completion.
I did see that email come through. I thank you for bringing that up. And then Vertex is the OPM on that project also, so hopefully we'll have
Well, not really.
No, okay.
No, the budget did not allow for us, and the construction is actually under $1.5 million.
Okay.
It's 1.2 now. So you didn't technically need to hire
An OPM,
an
right?
outside OPM, but your coastal engineering is the architect, so you will be dealing with Don Bologna from coastal, most likely.
Okay.
Great.
So just want to give you a heads up.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
I'm glad it passed. I think the fire department needs that place done.
Yeah, station was
Yes, they do.
kind of getting a little rickety, but good. All right.
Yeah.
Another project
All
for
right,
us.
good
Great. Okay. Well, have a good night, Steve. Thank you. Moving right along to the public safety complex. Just touching base on it quick. I don't know if you have any updates, Kevin, or it seems like it's probably still status quo here.
Okay, I did speak with GGG this week, and they are lining up people to come out and look at it. I do need to take care of one paperwork item, which I hope to have resolved by the end of the week, and we can move forward with that.
Okay. Progress. I like that. So,
Finally.
I know, right? Well, no, thanks for keeping on them, you know, I think, like you said, they're pretty out straight with, schools and HVAC assessments, so hopefully,
Yeah, they're out straight, and there was also a missing communication, and I resolved that this week too, so.
Oh, good.
We're on the right page now.
all right. Well, keep us posted if you need a hand or whatever, you know, you need us to review something, or if you need to bounce ideas off us, we're around, so.
Yeah, when they come in with that stuff, I'll certainly share it, regardless if we have a meeting or not. I'll send it out to yourself, and you can share with the members.
All right, great. All right, so that's positive. Looks like that one's in motion, so appreciated. Any other comments or questions from the board on the public safety complex?
No, I have none.
No, I don't.
No.
All right, on to the library project. We're just touching base again with Kevin on the generator for over at that project.
Finally, a little progress on that, thanks to the help of Joe and East. Joe sent the scope and the spec to Joe, and he was kind enough to review that and came back with some very good questions, some of which I do not have the answer to.
Okay.
I have reached out to Cosentini. I have not spoke with them yet, and Joe and I spoke today, and Joe has been kind enough to offer that we can have a conference call should Cosentini agree to do so, and talk about the questions and then move forward.
That's awesome. That's good to hear.
Yeah, it's excellent, actually.
Yeah.
It's all good stuff.
Yes.
I appreciate you doing that, Joe. That's a big help to get
Hey,
that
no
one
problem.
to get that one
What I used to
moving.
do. That's what I used to do.
I know, right? It's good.
Yeah.
It's good having those skill sets, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to help, but my point to Kevin is if you're gonna have a bid out, then the bid documents should be accurate and cover everything. There shouldn't be any add-ons. That's kind of where it's at. And they just need a little help, and I think between Kevin and I, we can push them in the right direction to get a complete document out, so people aren't guessing and get the best bang for your buck.
That's good. Happy to hear it. Awesome.
Okay.
All right, so more to come in that hopefully next meeting. That's nice. Any other questions or comments from the board on the library project?
No.
No, I have none.
All right.
I'm here.
So moving right along. Anybody have any old or new business or anything else they'd like to discuss?
I have none. No.
None.
That's good. Everybody's had their fill tonight.
I have just a quick question, and it won't take a second.
No problem, Jeff. Go ahead.
I'm new here,
Yeah.
of course. And I did see that, I read that the Widows Walk is going to do a construction project of some remodel of some sort. Is that a building commission project as well, or how does that work?
So
How
first,
does the commission know what projects they deal with?
so basically the Board of Selectmen kind of gives us our marching orders. So they would, the Board of Selectmen would, or select people rather, sorry, would take a look at it, take a look at the budget, approve budgets, and then if it was in the parameters for, a commission as ours to manage the project, then we would manage it. Some of the project, I know Carl was on, a member on the project for building the schools. Some of the committees and the commissions build their own buildings. The school has their own system. Widows Walk is an enterprise fund. They're kind of their own entity. I'm not sure how that'll be handled, but I'm sure we'll get the information on it at some point if we're charged with the project. But
Sure.
I will inquire about it for sure. Thank you for bringing it up. Does that give you a good explanation, hopefully?
Yeah. I was, like I said, I'm new, and I
Yeah.
see like the DPW has projects, and they're not part of what this commission
Yeah.
is doing, and I wasn't sure how. I just assumed.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did, but that all
Hey.
projects fell under that.
Carl, does that sound, Carl's been on the board here for the longest. Does that sound right to you, Carl? Is that how it usually goes down? No? Alright. Well, that's my understanding of it, so. But I'll inquire about it, definitely, John. I'll circle back with you. So thank you for bringing it up.
Thank you.
Alright. Any other orders of business?
No.
No?
No.
All right, everybody, make sure to get their generators ready to roll here.
Yeah.
I know, right? All right, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:36. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, seconded by Carl. If we could just do a quick roll call, and we'll be out of here.
Joe?
Yes.
Anthony?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Linda? Linda, are you still there?
She might have signed off.
She may have signed off. It's okay.
JD?
Yes.
Linda? Larry?
Yes.
And Steve?
Yes. All right, all in favor. So thank you. I appreciate your time, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.